in the hood with it. Welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel, and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled, man, and I'm very much so appreciative. Thank you. I couldn't do it without you. So, man, what a difference a day makes. I had a conversation, and I was like, wow. It's crazy in life. People can plot on you to get you, to smack your whole shit back, and you didn't even know. I didn't even have a feeling like that was the case. And now, all these years later, listening to the story that the homie was telling me, wow, I understand. And if I was on the opposite track, if I was the one, I'd probably smack some shit, okay? Now, let me explain to you what happened. This is the story about why the homies, and I just found this out, man, yesterday, why the homies wanted to murk me in county jail. Luckily, man, God works in mysterious ways. I took a deal and I got the fuck out of there before it could really be facilitated and it went down. But I think if I would have stood there, my career probably would have ended quicker than I thought, right? I'd have probably got fucking removed out of the county jail. Now I know I would have, because that's what they were plotting on me for. So back in 06, right, when I got caught up on my last term, which was my last prison term before violations and all that, you know, I got caught up. I've told the story before. I went to a bar, man. At that time, I was active. I ran into a dropout at that time, and I was playing that active shit. I was doing like real active activities. You know, we were back in them days. Dropouts were starting to become known, right? And we were all mixed up. We were calling them dropouts, and of course, I've explained to you that word's thrown around loosely. That term's thrown around loosely. It's not dropouts. It's people in bad standings. But that's what we were calling them. So we were pushing that propaganda like, hey, you see any DOs, smack their shit. Don't even hesitate, man. Get off. You don't have to kill them or nothing, but get off, right? And so there was plenty of times where we'd be having guys under suspicion, or people that we knew of were in bad standings, and we'd move on. Period, man. That's just the way it was. It was starting to become where we didn't even trip off Southsiders, Upstaters, things like that. It was more so against people that defected, our own kind, right? So I told you guys the story. I was at a club, man. I ran into someone who was pretty well known as being, you know, having dropout status. And I did a pegada. I did my move, right? I made my move. Me and the homies got off. And anyways, I ended up going on the run. And in the midst of doing this, man, I was all over the place. You know, when you're on the run, and I knew I was going to prison on this one. You know, there was a lot of people. This guy had walked into the police department, made a statement. You know, so the cops, they were looking for me. I was on the front page of the newspaper. Me and my crime partner at the time, my crimey, I ended up taking the whole case. He got out. He's still my friend to this day. That's facts, right? Just a lot of different shit happened. But in the midst of that, when you're on the run, you don't give a fuck. Two things: either you stay deep in the cuts, or you're just out there wiggling, like trying to get paper. I'm going to get locked up. I'm going to get as much pussy as I can, as much money as I can. I'm going to have as much fun as I can, because I know I'm going to go sit down for a while. See, that was the mentality of an active gang member. The shit don't stop. That's just another part of the game. So what? The cops are looking for me? Show! Right? You know, that's what I was striving for. I knew that being incarcerated, hitting the yard went with that. It goes hand in hand with gangbanging. You got to understand, if you're really active, if you're really putting in work, you're going to go sit down. You can't proclaim to be active and with the shenanigans if you're not with the shenanigans. That's just true stories, right? So anyways, I'm not trying to act all high powered like I was the craziest vato, but I was doing what I felt, you know, an active gang member did. So we're chilling at the homegirl's house, and I was on the run. This is prior to me going out to the Oxnard, Ventura area and hiding out with the homie out there, and then ultimately ending up in Juarez, Mexico. I've told all those stories, right? With my crimey, we bounced to El Paso. From there, walked over to my grandfather's house in Juarez and did that, right? So we're chilling, and there was another homeboy that was on the run. Oh, wait, excuse me. This is prior to that, okay? This is prior to that. Let me take it on back, right? Because I'll be fucking up the story. It's been a long time. So prior to me catching this fucking K and being on the run, I was chilling with the homeboy that was on the run. This happened all in the same time period, right? So I ended up going on the run a couple months later, and all that shit happened. But this was right before that. We would hang around at the homegirl's house. One of the homegirls, she was the type of homegirl that would have all the after parties at her pad. And really, we were taking advantage of, as homeboys, we were just taking advantage of her. And we'd be all over there chilling with all the chicks. She'd invite all the homegirls. All the homies would go over there. There'd be all the smokers and the yokers with 4 doors open. They'd be in the fucking in the garage, all smoked out, wide awake, right? And then there'd be the weed smokers in the backyard, and then everyone that was trying to get a torta, myself, was in the living room on the fake leather couch trying to fucking rub on some shit. That's just how it was. So we all had our little pockets, and it was an every night thing. We didn't party on just Thursdays, Thursdays, Fridays. We partied Monday through Monday. Straight up. The shit never stopped, right? You only went home, took a shower. There was always homies there at that pad. Always. I always woke up there too, fucking a gang of times, and the homegirl be cooking, and she was always fresh, just took a shower. I don't know how chicks do that. Ghetto chicks be on that shit. They're always fresh out the shower, hair wet, doing their makeup and shit. Like, damn, I haven't even took a piss yet. Right? You already showered up, ready to go. You made breakfast. Hey, there's fucking chorizo and eggs on the stove. Like, damn, you made chorizo and eggs. You done took a shower. You're doing your makeup. You gave the homeboy about 2 mamons. Damn, this chick right here got her priorities straight, right? So anyways, we're kicking it. And one of the homeboys was on the run. He was on the front page of the newspaper at this time. And he was on the run for some wild shit. Okay, let me tell you about this homeboy. So this homeboy, he was accused of a bad case back in the days, but everyone in the water knew he didn't do it. So he got cleared of it. But there was still homeboys that, especially the younger crowd. At that time, when I say youngsters, these are all OGs now compared to the youngsters now. But these were the younger crowd, our third generation, right? And that's who I used to hang around with. So it was me, a couple of the other homeboys, and we used to give glecha to the younger homeboys. And they didn't like this homie because they had only heard about the case. They weren't the ones in the county jail that cleared him. They weren't the ones that went through the bullshit, the shenanigans with the homie. So they didn't know him like that, right? Well, this was a taita of mine, someone I grew up with my whole life, one of my best friends' brother, right? And no one could ever tell me different. I knew the whole exact case, everything that went down. Everybody did. And it was a little statutory bullshit. And come to find out, it was the dad that was pressing the issue because he didn't want to serve him. He didn't want to serve him dope. And so he ended up getting cleared, beating the case, all kinds of shit. But in the midst of that, a lot of the younger homies didn't like what they heard. And I understand. If you don't know the vato, it's like, fuck the vato, right? And there was one homeboy in particular who was starting to strive, right? He was starting to be noticed within the cause, meaning that he was striving for status. You know, he was trying to be an en soul. He was trying to be a norteño at that time. And he was on his way to being just that because the way he carried himself, he was down. He was with the business, right? And he was a young, quiet homie. And I remember we never really, I won't say we didn't care for each other, but I didn't know him like that. I knew who he was. I respected it. I was already doing my thing, right? And I think he wasn't jealous or envious, but he just wanted to do it his way. And you got to respect that. I like that, man. He didn't talk shit. He didn't try to undercut or dick someone up, smack someone up, smut someone up. He just did it his way. So what had happened was, this particular pad where we'd all go hang out, right, it was the homegirl, like I said, the one that'd be always getting ready, and she had a roommate, fine ass roommate too. It's like, yeah, I got that. Tas, a few times, right? She was a beautiful chick. All the homeboys wanted her, all the homeboys had her, but in different ways. So at that time, that young homie, that was his chick, or he was fucking with her, right? Lightweight. He had a chick, but that was his little side chick. Everyone knew it. So he'd be over there. So she had her own room. The other homegirl had her own room. The kids had a room because they had kids and whatever. But, you know, we'd party over there. But the kids were never there. They were always with the daddies, always with the baby daddies. So what had happened was I'm chilling with that homeboy that's on the run, right? And we're kicking back and we had some shit called MDM or MD. MHDM. I don't know what it was called, but it was like some cut. It was like some cut for dope, right? Looked just like Chris, but it wasn't. Okay, you guys will correct me what it was, right? People know the woods are gonna be like, brother, that's MA fucking woo woo. So I was just fucking around. I was making like little 8 balls and shit of it, right? And I put them in there was like in the homegirl's room. She had like a Christmas stocking that she had on the wall, like some dude had given to her. So I dropped like 4 of them in there. And hey, I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna whoop someone. I was like, late night, we're gonna serve these and get off and get some money, right? That was the plan, but I forgot all about him. I had forgot, that was just whatever. And so the homeboy was there, me and the homeboy that was on the run, right, at the time. And a few of the homeboys come to the pad and they're being real secretive. So I hit him up like, what's up, bro? What's up with you guys, right? And I could just tell by the way they're wiggling and they're moving, something's going on. Something ain't right. It ain't safe, right? Not for me, but for the homie. They're plotting on him. I could tell. So I put one of the homeboys to the side, who's my crimey of all the cases I ended up catching, right? And I'm like, what's up, bro? Because he'll tell me what's up, but I had to pull him to the side. He was like, hey, the homies ain't feeling the big homie right here, right? Oh, he's gonna have to bounce, bro. You know, motherfuckers want to smack his shit. These guys were literally calling to get a cuete to do something to him, right? So I tell him, hey, bro, let's bounce to your sister's house for a little bit. I don't want to tell him because the type of homie he is, he'll beat up everyone in the house. He's a straight G, right? With major hands. So I don't want to rock the boat and cause tension. And I'm definitely, I say stand down, man. I kill that noise like, you guys ain't doing none of the homeboy. I approach the younger homies like, I know what you guys are up to, bro. Nah, you ain't going to do that. You guys don't know. The homie's cleared. They're like, fuck that, right? So anyways, everyone gets mad. Everyone disperses. Me and the homeboy leave. A couple days later, we're back, right? We're back. That homie comes, that young homie that stays there, him and his old lady are in the room. Okay? Now, they're home, they're in the room. The cops raid. Boom. They raid because the younger homie had got caught with the cuete a while back, and he was on the run too. So he had warrants. The homeboy was on the front page of the newspaper. He's sitting there on the couch. He has warrants. And I'm asleep in the room, fucking without warrants, but, you know what I mean, having dreams of tortas. Boom! Task raids, gang tasks, right? They hit, they snatch up the homeboy. They snatch me up. They snatched the other homeboy up. A couple other homies were there. They took off running, whatever, right? So when they snatched the homie up, he has a cuete on him. The one young homie, right, that was tripping. He has a gun on him. Boom, they got him, right? Ex-con in possession. He had already been locked up in prison. He's through, right? They take him to county. Of course, they got the homeboy on his charges. They arrest him. I told you guys, man, the homeboy was wearing a wig and shit. And I told a story about it in the past, right? He was wearing a wig. He was trying to wiggle, get away, right? They snatch him up. I'm talking shit to the cops. They try to get me for aiding and abetting, harboring a fugitive or whatever, right? Unlike Mr. Criminal, I was willing to take the case. Whatever. I tell the cops, fuck you guys, man. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This ain't my pad, but even if it was, I don't care. They throw me in the back of a cop car. The gang task, who was a guy named Delliman, Officer Delliman at the time, who it's a funny story with him because he ended up becoming a corrupt cop and got caught up for embezzlement and all kinds of shit. But he was a pretty cool gang task, right? Everyone knew him. He was pretty fair. Let's just say that. He comes up. He's like, what's up, man? I was like, man, I'm going to miss work for this shit. I don't know what you're talking about. He tells the other cop, look, it's a light case, man, but take him down, book him. If you want to do the paperwork, that's on you. So they take me down. They book me. And I've told the story the other day how me and the homeboy were communicating. Now, the homeboy, because he had that bad case back in the days, he is cleared from the barrio. But he feels like he's not going to get cleared in the county, right? So he ends up locking it up in the county and going to the other side, right? Whatever. Funny thing is, he's now cleared in the town. He's now good, man. And he's a homie. I got nothing but love for him. I always will. But that's just what it was, right? So the homeboy, he ends up locking it up. I go to the block, active block, with the homeboy for the cuete, right? Well, in the midst of them searching, and they go and they find those little fucking balls of that fake dope that I had put in the thing a long time ago, right? And so they charge the homeboy with possession of narcotics, right? Even though they test and eventually, man, that shit gets dropped, they still catch him with that shit. So understand that he went to the county jail a couple hours before me. Then I get to the county jail. The other homeboy locks it up, goes on the other side. So automatically when he gets in there, he's writing reports on me. That's how Norteños do it. Report on what happened. Hey, this is who was there. I got caught up on this. So he automatically is smutting me up from the gate. Hey, the homeboy had a fucking... He's trying to blame the homeboy there. Now, they raided because of him. Not because of the homeboy. That was just a bonus. They ended up, someone snitched and said they're all over there, but they were actually looking for him more so, right? Because he was a fugitive known to fucking have guns and he got caught with a gun. So, and he did get caught with one. So that was on him. But anyways, he's already smutting me up, I guess. Now I'm finding this out just yesterday, right? That he's telling the homies, hey, fucking... This fool brought a fucking no good dude around. That dude locked it up already. He was hanging around with these fucking degenerates. And, but he was too. He was laughing, eating sopas, right? And the reason we got raided is because the cops were looking for this dude. So they came hit us. In the midst of that, I got caught with a gun. These fools have dope all in the house. Now I'm charged with that. This homeboy needs to take this case for me. They wanted me to take the case. Now, this youngster was pushing a line on me. He didn't have the same status as me at the time, within the barrio or within anything, the collective, right? But he was pushing that line. Hey, usually it's the first one to fucking cry gets the milk, right? The first bird to chirp gets the worm. So he's already in there smutting me up. A few hours later, I go through processing. I come in the county. I go through the clearance process. There's a gang of homeboys from Avado. They clear me immediately, right? I get put in charge of the cell, which was the CS, right? At that time, the cell security. It's 8-man cells on the block. They give me the fucking, the guy who was running the show at that time, he's no good anymore, man. I could say his name was David Carfs. He was an Ansol. He was a structure member, right? At the time. I had functioned with them in the regiment in Merced for a while, so he knew me. What's up, D? D from Oakland, right? Bam, he clears me. A couple other homeboys are there. I get cleared. Boom, I'm good. So the whole time I'm in there, I guess this dude's plotting. So I do get a wheel out like, hey, bro, the homeboy got caught up for some fucking fake, some dope or whatever. At that time, they thought it was real dope. I was like, oh, that's fake, bro. He's going to get cleared of that shit. That's fake. I remembered, right? And he was like, he didn't know that. Oh, shit. And they were like, hey, you should fucking, they only raided because you were bringing fucking the homeboy around. Well, I said, no, it was nothing like that. So now I know that they're tripping, but I've been cleared in the household. If I was no good, they wouldn't have never cleared me, but they were rocking me to sleep, right? I guess this dude was fucking hollering in people's ears behind the scenes trying to get me smacked. And from what I heard, they were good. They were thinking about it. So anyways, I'm like, nah, bro, it ain't like that. They hit because of him. Woo, woo, woo. So it's a little back and forth thing. And whatever, man, I'm not here to play the blame game. I wasn't trying to do that. I was fighting my case. Now, if you remember, this is right before Operation Valley Star happened, right? So I have a homeboy who has a brother who's a placa, or he was at the time. He's not no longer anymore. He's given that up, and now he's like some bounty hunter or something, right? But we were pretty cool. And I'm not going to lie, he used to tell me a few things in the, to help me out. And one of the things was that there was a big operation going down soon. Something was happening within the Norteño movement that a lot of heads were going to roll. A lot of people, it was a joint task force coming. So we already knew what was up. We just didn't know when and how they were going to come, but we knew they were coming, right? So a lot of homeboys were getting prepared for it because we didn't know whose name was on the lista. We didn't know who was going to get jacked up, who was going to get snatched up. And at this time, 2006, it was very hot in Merced County. Like there was a lot of shootings going on, a lot of the regiment was set up. There was just a lot of shit going on within the Norteño movement, right? There was a lot going on as far as in prison with the NF politics and what they had going on with the split and, the end of hostilities was going to be implemented soon. I mean, there was just a lot going on. Operation Valley Star was very devastating to a lot of the Ensols, to a lot of the, the Ensoldados. So at that time, everybody was like, something's coming, but we don't know. Okay, so my whole thing was, if I take my case quick, well, so this is what happens. So I get locked up for that. This is before that. So I get locked up for that. They let me out. They drop the case fucking on the aiding and abetting, whatever, right? Now, that's what happened. I got out. I go back. Okay, I go back. The homeboy's still in there fighting his case. I got the story all fucked up, right? So when I go in there for the aiding and abetting, it's a quick turnaround. I get cleared. Boom, quick turnaround. I'm out. Then I get caught up on the fucking pegada, the fucking thing in the bar. Go to Mexico a couple months, come back. The homies are all in county. So that's why he had a chance to dick me up and talk all that shit. When I say dick me up, I mean like fucking smut me up, right? That's just a word we call dicked up in YA. That's YA slang. So that's when he had a chance to fucking do what he was doing, right? Then when I came back, I ended up getting clear again. But, well, actually, I got cleared within a couple days. But I wasn't there in the county long enough for them to fucking whack me is what they were going to do. The homeboy told me yesterday, we were going to whack you, bro. I said, damn, bro, like that? Well, fuck it, I'm gonna whack you tomorrow then, right? And we're talking shit. But he was like, yeah, the homeboy had already fucking smutted you up, bro. It was already being processed. Like it was being talked about, whispered. Just nobody wanted to really stamp it because these were my homeboys from my hood. Like, damn, this is the homie, right? Bro, I know he shouldn't have been hanging around with the dude, but the homeboy at that time, and it's funny, like I said, he's cleared now and he bought back in, right? But at that time, they were like, we all hang around with the homie, man. The homie's solid, right? And so I go to the county, and because the Operation Valley Star shit was going to happen, I ended up fucking taking the first deal. I jumped on the first deal, which was a 4-year deal for assault. GBI, they ended up dropping that, gave me assault. I run with the 4, right? I took the whole case for my crime partner. They asked who was there. Nope. It was all me. My crime partner, he gets arrested a couple months later. And he doesn't have that case, and he's wondering what the fuck happened. And I ended up telling him years later, bro, I took that case off you, bro. I told him you weren't even there. He was like, man, I appreciate you, bro. He ultimately ends up going to prison a few times and does become a member of a prison organization, right? That's my homeboy to this day. So anyways, I think he's forever knows what time it is with me. Like, damn, that's the homie, man. So anyways, I ended up going to prison before they could whack me. Okay, now usually things follow you. Now you got to understand, I didn't know. This had already been months to that shit. And I remember when I got there, that's when they were telling me, hey, you need to take this case for the homie. And I'm like, you got me fucked up, bro. That shit was fake, man. They're going to drop that shit. And they ended up dropping it. And then he ended up catching his gun case and going to prison. And I guess when he left, the homies are like, fuck that. We ain't going to push the issue on the homie. That was on him. That was just a youngster striving, just all mad. And people will do that. They'll smut you up. They'll dirty politic. Now, was I in the wrong? I was. I was hanging around the homie, even though I knew, because I was playing the prison game on the streets. And if you play the prison game, you got to play it to the fullest. If you're going to politic on the streets behind some prison shit, you got to do it to the fullest. I knew that within the hood, the barrio, the homeboy was clean. And he never did nothing. He wasn't a rape boy. He wasn't a weirdo like that. But he did have a fucked up case he was arrested for back in the days. Even though he was ultimately cleared, people still didn't like that. You know, it was shunned upon. I understand, right? But I grew up with them my whole life. It was like, I knew, everyone knew in the hood it wasn't bad, right? So all the homies kicked it with them, but I just always was with them because that's my boy, right? Now, should I have been doing that and pushing prison politics? No, I knew better, right? But at the end of the day, you know, barrio and prison is two different things. You know, should I fucking immediately fucking raised my hand and said, yeah, hey, that was my fucking fake ass dope in there. Yeah, I should have. I probably should have. But I was never really given an opportunity or a chance to before my shit was moving fast. I took the case and got out because I didn't want to get caught up in Alpi Russian Valley Star. So I was like, I'm out of here. I didn't know if my name was on the Lee Star, what was going on. So I wanted to get the fuck on down the road as quick as possible. Hopefully that I was convicted on the case. Now, don't get it twisted. If they easily wanted me, they could have hit me with a RICO. They could have rearrested me in prison and all that, right? But my thinking was, if I'm out the way, the DA's going to be like, this guy's already got a conviction. He's doing state time, whatever, right? And ultimately, I probably was never on the list, but I was just thinking crazy of myself. That's just the truth, right? So, was I in the wrong? Yeah, I definitely was in the wrong, man. I could have been whacked. The homeboy said they were going to hit me. He said they were going to do it because of who I was. They were going to make an example. They were going to lay a demo down. And he said, hey, bro, if you would have stood another week, you wouldn't have went to Tracy. We were going to get you in the yard. I was like, damn, bro. I said, was I already stamped, cleared? He goes, not really, but it was going to be, bro. He was like, that dude was really politicking hard on you. I was like, fuck. Why me? And like I said, you ever get that feeling about one of your homeboys that he doesn't really care for you or like you? He doesn't say it. He'll smile on your face, kick back at you, drink a beer, but you could tell he just really doesn't like you. And because of that, you kind of are iffy about him. That's how that dude was. Like, when I first met him, you gotta understand, I got out of prison. He was a youngster there. He's related to a lot of my homeboys. So, of course, he was in the barrio. This the homie, this now, right, bro? Woo, woo. And I think because of what I was pushing, the narrative I was pushing, the glitch I was giving, he wasn't buying into it. He was like, bro, I don't give a fuck about all that, bro. This is fucking whoop-de-whoop. Though he was doing his own thing. And I remember pulling him to the side one time and having a lightweight debate. Not an argument, but a debate. Like, hey, bro, because what happened was, we were told we couldn't go to clubs. We fucked it up in the clubs. All the youngsters were fucking it up. Going to the clubs, smacking people, getting caught up. So we were told, you know, by the authority, the high command, not to go to the fucking clubs. And he was still going with homies. And I was telling him, he was like, hey, I'm going to Modesto. I'm going to Fresno to the clubs. And I was telling him, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? The homies mean clubs. And he was like, yeah, they say clubs here in the town, but not outside. And I was like, bro, if you can't half step. If you're going to go, you got to go all the way. And it was a little beef. So I could always tell that he was pushing it. But that's what happens, man. Dirty politicking, dirty macking. Was I in the wrong? Lightweight. Did I deserve to get fucking stabbed, cut up, and killed? Well, that's up for your interpretation. I guess the gang life shit happens. I was a solid homeboy and everything. But, you know, when you feel like, hey, you're above that, you're going to do what you want to do, bad shit happens. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the story. It's all true facts, man. The homeboy told me yesterday, it blew my mind. I was like, damn, you guys are trying to kill me everywhere. Motherfuckers trying to kill me in Port Hueneme. You motherfuckers trying to kill me in Mexico. Well, why? Why? I was a good homie. You were doing too much, bro. I was, man. I was doing a whole lot. People say, oh, Gun is a nobody. Shit. You better ask somebody about me in the town. Back then, I was somebody. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Hey, what you guys know about the Collective Clips hat? Show! I'm going to have them online pretty soon for everybody, man, who wants one. Thank you. We're going to get them in all colors. I appreciate all the support. The Gun.